please. Maybe start off.
Rothwell fight.
1, 2, 3, 4. Ben, obviously, welcome to Dublin. We learnt last night, pretty much not more good news for you, what you wanted. I know you wanted either Arlovski or Miocic. The UFC have announced last night that they're having that fight at UFC 195, I believe it is. Stipe Miocic versus Andrei Arlovski. Just your reaction and thoughts about that fight.
Kind of, I'm even hesitant now. I was kind of blindsided by the whole thing because I came here for the whole week. I've been advocating for the Arlovski fight. And then I feel like yesterday when I had like the biggest push for the fight, 5 minutes later, I got told from some of the media, "Hey Ben, did you see this?" And Arlovski and Stipe are fighting each other, and I was just really surprised. It just didn't make any sense. There was just like, I thought for sure I was going to get the fight with Arlovski, and I mean that's just how many times have we seen this happen to other fighters? Somebody thought they're going to get a title fight or something's going to happen, and I'm not the first fighter this has happened to, so.
You've pushed for that fight since last July. We spoke in July in Las Vegas. I think it was during the Invicta FC media day there. Is it almost an insult to you from the UFC?
I'm just trying to stay from anything derogatory about anybody, about any of the situation. There's so many things in play here. What is the UFC going to do when guys get injured, though? I mean, their hands are, they can only do so much. There's nothing we could do about that. My opponent pulled out this weekend. Fine. It's okay. We're talking about a January fight now, and we're booking guys. It's just that's where the confusion comes in. I've never seen a guy that was pulled out from an injury, and then the week that he's supposed to fight, he's booked for another fight. That's the most confusing thing. That's the part that I think everybody's shaking their head about. I don't know. I'm just like really lost for words on this whole thing right now. I say I've never been in this situation before either, so I'm trying to handle it the right way. I don't want to be too upset because there's just so many things that are in a factor that there's stuff that the matchmaking that they're going through. They have so many shows. I have no idea what their plan is, so I just got to relax. I really do, and just be like, but I keep saying it over and over again. Maybe one of these guys Overeem gets hurt, I get to fight Junior Dos Santos. This will all make sense then. I mean, ultimately, that's the fight I would want anyway. He's ranked higher than Stipe and Andre, and if I can go in and get the opportunity to fight Junior and beat him, that's going to say everything I can possibly say with my actions. So we'll just wait and see what happens. We'll hope that the universe has a grand plan for me, and I just got to be ready for it.
I was going to say, there's a real logjam at the top of that heavyweight division, and even though your fight fell through before the Dublin event, you've still made that trip. You've come over and you're doing guest fighter duties for the UFC, and you're putting in appearances, you're meeting the fans and all the rest of it. Have you had any communication from the UFC with regard to what might be next? Have they given you any kind of heads up? Presumably they didn't give you any heads up about the fight because that came as a big surprise to you at the time, but has there been any communication since the announcement?
Yeah, the UFC kind of just said, they want me to fight around the same time frame as Arlovski and Stipe. So, regardless, I mean, that's good. I mean, we can find a fight. It's just the options are very slim, and that's the problem. So who and everything, I don't know. There's been a couple names, but even those names are it sounds like they have outside obligations. So, I don't even see anybody's name because it's just such a toss-up. I have no idea what's gonna happen. All I know is, whatever it is, if I have to wait a little bit, I just want to fight someone that's gonna move me ahead. I mean, I keep trying to call out the top 3 guys. I mean, what more can I do? I've been doing it for a year. Toughest guy you got, fine, let me fight him. So that's just it. I'm just trying to take the fights that make sense. I just don't want to fight some guy. I just not in a situation just fighting to fight. I mean, I have over 40 professional fights. I want each fight to make sense, and I don't know what's going to happen because every guy that's in front of me has a fight book now. The question was, Matrion, a guy that's ranked out of the top 10, is fighting Travis Brown, a guy in front of me. Why don't the universe switch some things around here? I want politics for once work in my favor and drop that fight and put me in, or something. So I don't know. Or Overeem, take him out, put me in for Junior.
I mean, Ben, trying to put a positive spin on it. Obviously, these fights have been made. Junior Dos Santos, Alistair Overeem, of course, Stipe Arlovski. In some sense, though, is it good because that's already clearing out names at that top of the division and making it, potentially afterwards or whoever you fight, a bit easier maybe to get that title shot?
I don't think so. I'm losing the opportunity. I mean, really, it's Overeem and Junior Dos Santos, Stipe, and Andre. They're going to get, those four have a fight, and they're going to get a shot to move ahead. And I'm standing here, just waiting. Like, I can't. There's nothing I can do now to get to that title shot. These four guys are basically getting the go-ahead, and I feel like it's going to take me longer now. The Stipe fight was the fight that I needed to get where I needed to go, and now I don't even. The bridge has been taken.
Do you feel that because it's so close to the top of the division, obviously the Cain Velasquez for each of their doom match have always been talked about, the rematch. We've talked about those two other fights as well, that because of that big blockage at the top of the heavyweight division now, that once all these fights start rolling out, we see who's a winner, who's a loser, that the division over the next year is probably going to be arguably one of the most exciting divisions in the UFC, and hopefully you'll be a part of that if you get your title shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. As far as emphasizing that the division's been held up. I mean, Cain was a champ, I think, over the course of, 4 or 5 years. He fought 3 times, or he fought only 2 different guys. So it's just like, yeah, that's been a huge problem, having a guy that's been injured a lot, not wanting to fight. That's why I promoted Verdum to win, because I felt like at least he's going to take fights. He's going to keep challenging us, and that definitely will help. If we can get some championship fights going, that's going to definitely make more opportunities for us. March is the title event, and it's just like, does Cain show up to that? It's the guy has a history of getting injured a lot, so that's why I question it. And that could be an opportunity. If Cain gets hurt, then one of these guys get thrown in, and we get this thing going. You know what I mean?
How far do you sit out? For you, is there a list of guys you'll go to fight? Is like Frank Mir might have a fight? Is that a fight you might look at, or is there a possibility you might sit out till after these guys fight?
I mean, my goal is to train and be ready. Like I said, in case Overeem or Junior get hurt, I want to be ready for December 19th, and that could be. There's a list of heavyweight fights that are coming up that, like, yeah, the guy's ranked behind me. I just fought Miocic, he's ranked behind me, and the fight moved me up in the rankings. So it's not like I can't fight a guy behind me and still move up, if I go out and perform well. So a guy like Frank Mir and some of these guys, it's like, yeah, well, they're there's some of the fights that can be made. I hate I'm on a 3-fight win streak and I'm going to fight a guy on just lost. That sucks. You know what I mean? At least Miocic was on a 3-fight win streak when I fought him. So.
And the UFC obviously said that Matt threw his name in the hat to fight here this week. Do you think that might affect your chances of getting that fight because you didn't take the fight with Miocic here with the UFC?
No, let's clear up that there was no fight offered with Miocic. There was nothing. Actually, me and Matt were actually texting last night about it. He was under the misunderstanding. He got told one thing, and I was clear. I'm like, that's why I got so mad at you on media, because you were basically taking a crack at my manhood. I turned down a fight with you, and I'm like, come on. I was going to fight anybody. Literally, I would have fought a guy not even ranked. It didn't even matter. And there was just the UFC didn't. They were like, there's no fight that we're going to make. Miocic was signed to fight Travis Brown. I understand it's a legal thing. So there was no fight offered. If there was, I was going to come here and put a show on for Irish crowd. That's just the way that's why I came here. And I'm still happy to be here because you guys are some of the best fans in the world. That is, without a doubt. And I feel really bad that this UFC has crumbled the way it has, because I feel like Ireland's gotten the shaft for being some of the best fans the sport's ever had, ever. Yeah, it's disheartening to see this event fall apart and kind of you guys not get as many good events as you should. And I was willing to come here and fight anybody for you.
Can I ask about your management situation? Am I right in thinking you self-manage? You manage your own career. You don't have a management company who you are affiliated to. Is that right?
I'm not. I would say I'm 90% self-managed. I have a management that takes care of my contract, that kind of thing, but I'm on my own other than that. Like, no sponsorship, stuff like that. I do everything on my own. It's tough too, because I own my own gym and I kind of do some other things. I manage guys, so I'm like a jack of all trades. I stay pretty busy.
The reason for asking is because obviously a lot of these guys, they're part of big management big management companies. They've got like economies of scale, they've got bargaining power because they've got a stable of fighters there. Do you think the fact that you're a little bit outside of that, maybe you're a bit more self-managed, do you think that counts against you in some respects? And in situations like this where you got Stipe's got the nod and you've kind of been left out in the cold a little bit?
Of course. I mean, I would have to, some of these guys, like you said, they got a manager that has, let's say Melky, for instance. That's Andre's a new manager. John Jones, guys like that. Like, a manager's got some pull, I'm sure, and he's going to say, Rothwell or Stipe, we want Stipe. You know what I mean? He gets to pick. Yeah, for sure. I don't have that. I definitely am on the outside. Like, I'm a